Hi, and welcome to the Haverhill Journal, where we give you a quick look at what's going on in our city. I'm Lindsay Paris, and this week we've got a recap of the incredible array of outfits seen at the Yesteryear Ball Costume Contest, and we're visiting a Haverhill first, the very cool Creative Crosswalk. But first, the Journal was in Lafayette Square Sunday evening as the former Hudson Machinery building at 30 Stevens Street was overtaken by a massive 8-alarm fire. We spoke with city officials and neighbors to get their views on the blaze and learn what's happening next. The thick, choking black smoke billowing from Sunday's inferno could be seen as far away as Boston as the massive mill building, one of the last in the city, burned.
Fire started Sunday afternoon. By the time it was discovered, it had got a good hold of the building, and the deputy ordered multiple alarms right at the start. It is now Thursday, roughly 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and there are still hot spots in the building. We're still actively trying to extinguish all of the remaining fire. But it came out of control, I would say, shortly after 1 o'clock, early Monday morning.
30 Stevens Street in Haverhill, which was an abandoned factory building. Somehow or other, the building caught on fire. It became a 7-alarm fire, the largest fire in Haverhill in decades. There were 125 firefighters from 19 different communities. They all did a phenomenal job, and not only in putting the fire out, but in preventing any injuries to themselves or to civilians, and in preventing the fire from spreading.
Power was cut to the Lafayette Square area while hundreds of anxious residents gathered outside to watch 125 firefighters battle the flames.
Because of the large fire, we had to shut down the power to a great area downtown in the Lafayette Square. So there was a lot of people that were affected by this fire.
We own the building adjacent to it right now on Stevens Street. We were going to expand our operation to the building. We put a deposit down. It was a beautiful building. It was awesome. I hadn't seen it. My partner had walked through it. He told me about it. It was just one of those old buildings that were built like a fortress. All big wood beam, high ceilings.
The mill construction buildings, they're built of heavy timber because of the type of machinery that was in the day that they were using. So with the heavy timber, they're hard to ignite, but when those large timbers ignite, and then because there's oils and other chemicals that may have absorbed into the wood, they create a tremendous amount of heat, and a lot of heat is generated, released, and the fire grows very quickly, and they get out of control like this one.
Now that the building is going to be a total loss and will be demolished, what are some plans for the future down there?
Well, obviously we don't know. It's up to private industry, but I met with a prospective developer yesterday. I had 2 others call me today. The real potential is in the mill building in front of the building that burned, the mill building right on the corner of Stevens Street and Winter Street. That's a historic mill. It goes back to 1800. I've pledged the city support. We'll do everything we can to get them the credits that they need and see if we can get this site developed. The site that burned will probably not be redeveloped. It's hard to say. We'll see what happens.
As has been widely reported, 4 juvenile suspects were being held without bail in connection with the September 20th fire, as well as an earlier fire on September 16th.
Once an arrest is made, everything or any comments or any questions are directed to the Essex DA office.
Can you talk at all about how the fire got started? Like how you think it may have gotten started, or?
Well, it was intentionally set. That's about all I will say.
The firefighters in Haverhill and in the 19 other communities that responded did an absolutely awesome job. Not a single person was injured. The fire didn't spread to any other buildings. None of this happened by accident. It happened because of literally years, a year and a half, of advanced training on these 2 abandoned buildings. They planned it out. They knew where the hydrants were. They knew where they would station the trucks. I really take my hat off to the 125 firefighters from 19 different communities who helped our community out. Great job.
As residents across the city have expressed, a huge thank you to the Haverhill Fire Department, as well as over 15 other town departments that came down to lend a hand. Haverhill's 375th anniversary celebrations kicked off with a bang the evening of Thursday, September 10th, when over 150 people, looking as if they'd stepped right out of a bygone era, danced the night away at the Yesteryear Ball. I was there in a futile attempt at a Mad Men look, but I was put to shame by the parade of incredible costumes that you're about to see. Hoop skirts, headdresses, novelty heels. They were all seen at DeBurrow's September 10th as over 150 bedecked ballgoers enjoyed dinner, dancing, and the highly anticipated finale of the evening, the costume contest.
At least half the people here tonight were dressed in costume, and every category from colonial times to the grunge scene were covered.
We're going to start with the colonial era, says Justin Gordon as John Lord. Carol Crowell and Dan Spears as the Pentuckets. Roger Lanier Sr., Diane Manugian, Catherine Gillette, Brennan Smith. Moving into the Victorian era, we have Latria Masters. Number 9, Dan Blakey and Jennifer Cook. Elaine Barker. In the Jazz Age, we have number 12, Kaylee Paris. There we go. Number 13, Andy Vargas, Wesley Fletcher, and Alejandro Perez. Ms. Demi Arndt. As Bonnie and Clyde, Jordan Farrow, and Josh McNamara. Janice Young. Lucia Leonardo and Ralph McCoskey. Francis Quintiliani. Moving into the swinging 60s, Eva Raytek and Adam Raytek. Ashley Bird. Molly Fitzgerald and Carrie Fitzgerald. In the run, rap, and alternative category, Matt Fitzgerald and Rhea Fuller.
Who are you? Please tell us.
We are Bonnie and Clyde.
Did you put your costumes together yourselves?
Yes, we did.
And about how long did it take you to put your costume together?
Probably an hour and a half, really. If you like, because we were running around all the thrift stores just looking, and we're like, this fits, this fits, this fits.
Tell me about the shoes you're wearing tonight, because I understand they have a very special story behind them.
These shoes were designed by my grandfather, Edgar Movsesian. He was a Haverhill shoe manufacturer, and he was a designer. This was one prototype that my grandmother wore, and another one, the same style but clear.
Now they look like they might be hard to walk in. What do they feel like when you're wearing them?
Very comfortable. There's a steel shank in them, and they're very supportive. They feel like a regular pair of heels.
Dan and I are Civil War reenactors. We are with the 22nd Mass Infantry Division of the United States Sanitary Commission. Both of the outfits we have on are technically not costumes. They're real clothes. They are to the period. My dress is 100% silk. It's not the Dupont. It's real silk like they had at the time. And this is antique lace. It was done by a good friend of mine who's a historical seamstress, Deb DeFranco. Everything, including my hoop, my over petties, my under petties, chemise, everything is 100% accurate. And the same with his.
Elaine, tell us a little bit about this outfit that you have right here.
I am so proud and so honored to have this outfit with me here this evening. This was made by my wonderful mother, Alicia McNamara Fizette. This she made for me so I could be in the 1940 300th anniversary celebration of Haverhill. You can see the detail on this dress. A lot of it was sewn by hand.
And the winners are...
Jordan Farrow and John McNamara. It was the kiss. In the most accurate to the era award from our judges, Justin Gordon as John Ward. Best expressing the spirit of the, in this case, the Victorian era, Dan Blakey. That's not authentic to the period. Dan Blakey and Jennifer Cody from the Victorian era. The judges felt strongly that there needed to be 2 honorable mentions as well, because the costumes were just so good. So, honorable mention to Molly and Kerry Fitzgerald. And an honorable mention to Jenny Arndt.
So there you have it, folks. Haverhill's 375th birthday. What a fantastic night. Now it's my turn to go have some fun and go dance.
So fun. You can see more pictures of the ball online at the Haverhill 375th Facebook page. 375th activities are continuing through the rest of the year. For the full schedule, visit haverhill375.com. In your travels outside Haverhill, you may have seen them, the beautiful, fun, and clever creative crosswalks that have popped up in big cities around the world. But now we have our own creative crosswalk right downtown on Orchard Street, sponsored by the adjacent Butch's Uptown restaurant. Linda Germain, Leota Surrett, and Vicki Tran met us at the crosswalk to tell us how it happened.
The creative crosswalk idea that you're seeing behind me is actually taking place in other cities and in other creative arts districts. And we wanted to bring it to Haverhill.
We ended up trying to just get different ideas from all sorts of artists, and I decided to submit something. I had no clue really what was going on, and right away, it was on Friday night, probably around 12 a.m., I just struck with a little bit of inspiration, and I decided, you know, why not?
It actually was out there in February. It had been bouncing around and was talked about by Creative Haverhill. Once we finished up with the Inside Out project, Leota and I put out a call, and Vicki stepped forward with the designs. And I mean, they've been done all over the country, all over the world.
To create the crosswalk, we ended up having to go run around trying to find out what they use for the paints on the road. We tried to look up how to do the stencils properly, and you know, it went from trying to do this with this kind of upright spray can that they use to mark the roads when they're trying to do sewage. And then we ended up researching how they find the stencils for the handicap signs on the ground. We got local businesses to help us out. Sherwin-Williams and Haverhill gave us great tips about what materials to use, and then just kind of went off from there.
Samantha Petro, who owns Butch's Uptown, is one of the owners. Samantha said, well, I'm a business person, and I'd love to sponsor your very first crosswalk, and which caught me by surprise, but I was thrilled and that she gave us that opportunity. And so I want to say thank you, Samantha.
What is next for this project is that one, right now we would love to get permission to install 3 more crosswalks before the River Ruckus. We're still going to collect names and numbers of people who are excited about the project. They can do that at wehaveitinhaverhill@gmail.com. Just send us an email and tell us you love the project, or you want to sponsor a project, or you have an idea. So then over the winter we would collect that and get also collect artists and come up with fresh new designs so that when the snow melts and the streets are clean again, we can really install these all over the city or wherever they're wanted, you know.
If you want a funky crosswalk near your building, and who doesn't, email wehaveitinhaverhill@gmail.com to get more info. Archie, Betty, Veronica, and Jughead are just a few of the world-famous names with Haverhill roots, like their creator, cartoonist Bob Montana. Northern Essex Community College is celebrating Montana's work on Thursday, October 1st, with 2 screenings of Archie's Betty, a film that explores the Haverhill connection to the beloved comic strip. Producers Sean Clancy and Gary Peary will be speaking, as well as Nancy Silberkleit, CEO of Archie Comics. Showings are being held at 3 and 6 p.m. at the HeartLab Technology Center, and there will be a reception from 5 to 6 p.m., where you can explore the new Archie exhibit at the NECC Art Space Gallery. All events are free and open to the public. If you have a story or event you'd like to see featured on the Haverhill Journal, call us at 978-372-8070 or email info@mediahc.org. And don't forget to like us on Facebook or at our YouTube channel, HCTV Haverhill. And that's what's happening in Haverhill the week of September 24th. I'm Lindsay Paris, and we'll see you next time.